Welcome back to Health Hacks with Dr. Jeni and Tara Peterson from Thrive Chiropractic and Functional Health right here in Branson, Missouri. And if you're dealing with bloating, constant fatigue, brain fog, hormone struggles, joint pain, or just feeling off, even when your labs look okay, today's episode is going to be a game changer. So we're walking you through our exact 30-day gut reset protocol, the same step-by-step program we use with our patients in our functional medicine practice. Dr. Jeni, why is gut healing so foundational for overall health?
I'm glad you asked. 70 to 80% of your immune system actually lives in your gut. So when the microbiome, that's what we call the gut environment, is out of balance or the gut lining is leaky, it starts to create inflammation that shows up everywhere. It affects your energy, your hormones, your mood, your joints, your skin, you name it. The beautiful part about it, though, is that you can start turning this around in as little as 30 days.
Yes. So let's paint the picture for our listeners. What symptoms tell someone their gut needs a reset?
So you can pretty much assume that everybody needs a gut reset. But the most common issues we see are chronic bloating, gas, constipation, loose stools, or like the irritable bowel type of thing where it goes back and forth. That's pretty common. Fatigue that hits around mid-afternoon, brain fog, an inability to lose weight, hormone imbalances, especially the thyroid and with estrogen, joint pain, skin breakouts, food sensitivities, mood swings, even anxiety. Those are all signs that the gut immune axis is really struggling.
So many women in our clinic come to us saying they've tried everything and they still feel terrible. And this is why we love sharing this protocol and getting to the root cause.
Yeah. So we structure the reset around a classic functional medicine for our approach. And that's remove, replace, re-inoculate, and repair.
So we start with removing the big triggers, which usually takes about 2 weeks, but for some people this can be longer, and we eliminate the biggest triggers, things like gluten, dairy, refined sugar, ultra-processed food, alcohol. And for some people, there's, a longer protocol that we'll use, and some people we will remove corn and soy and eggs. And these are all temporary eliminations. We don't eliminate all of these things forever, but we also look at reducing stress and unnecessary medications.
Yeah, things like Advil and NSAIDs, those kinds of things.
Yeah. And practically on a plate, it would look like this. You would eat half of your plate would be full of non-starchy vegetables. And then we want to make sure that a quarter of your plate has a good protein in it, or a fist size. And then we do include some starches in there, like some root vegetables, things like sweet potato, or maybe a little quinoa. So that's all part of phase 1. And then phase 2, we start replacing, and we support digestion with things like some supplementation, like digestive enzymes. If your stomach acid is low, we may increase it with some HCl. Maybe we'll use some apple cider vinegar with your meal times. And then in phase 3, we re-inoculate. So this is when we bring in the good bacteria, the multi-strand probiotics. We use some prebiotics, and a lot of times with food, things like garlic, onions, and some fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and we start slow with those because those can kind of cause a storm if you kind of a blowout if you go too fast on that. And then phase 4, we repair. So that can be days, around day 15 to 30. We start healing the gut lining. We'll use, we have some favorite supplements that we use for this in our protocols. It contains things like L-glutamine, D-carcinine, Cipollery elm. It has some healing components in there like marshmallow root, or maybe sometimes we'll use some collagen or some bone broth, some good fish oil, some antioxidants in there. So whenever possible, we'll use food for these protocols, but we also have our tried and true supplements that we use to heal the body.
Yeah, so let's go back and review and break down week by week so that people can follow along with this. Week 1 is resetting and removing. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to cook at home. We're going to drink enough water because that's huge. We're going to get half of our body weight in ounces of filtered pure water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces of water. And maybe you try to fast for 12 hours overnight during that week, where you're kind of resetting. So, you focus on just not eating from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And then week 2, you're replacing and begin re-inoculating. So, you're gonna, if you need to start adding those digestive supports like digestive enzymes or hydrochloric acid, we're going to do that. And then we're going to start adding either fermented foods or even a probiotic. So kombucha is my favorite of all of the fermented foods. And I'm also playing around. I'm starting to make my own sauerkraut and stuff like that, just because it's
Kefir,
easy.
things
It's
like that.
so easy. And I know Tara makes kefir, and it's good. It's very tangy.
Yeah.
And then week 3 is a more deep re-inoculation. So you're going to start increasing your plant diversity. So you're going to try to eat, think of it in this way. Think of eating 20 to 30 different plants in a specific week. So then your energy and mood usually starts lifting from there. So that focuses you on trying new things, lots of different plant-based vegetables. Think of doing most of that as a vegetable.
Yeah.
And then week 4, we're going to re-emphasize repair with nutrients our body needs, slowly testing and reintroducing foods one at a time while you track your symptoms, because you'll remember we took out things like gluten and dairy products. Maybe you had to eliminate eggs for a season or something like that, and you want to see how those things make you feel, and you want to just do it one thing at a time and not introduce something more than about every 3 days, like one new food every 3 days. Just make sure you'll know what you're feeling.
This is not the time to add pizza back in.
No, because it's like all the things, right?
Right.
So,
Well, that timeline feels realistic for most of our patients. So even if you're a busy mom or professional, you can make that happen. So
yeah.
let's think about some real life meal ideas.
Okay, this is where we get rubber meets the road, right? What do we eat for breakfast? How about a protein smoothie with spinach, berries, flaxseed, something like that. That would be a breakfast. Lunch, we're looking at some kind of grilled protein like salmon or chicken. Have a salad, lots of greens. Maybe put some avocado on there. Make your dressing with with some olive oil, and then here's that sauerkraut I've been working on. And then dinner, maybe we're having some sweet potato, some steamed broccoli, some grass-fed beef, or we like tuna at our house, like ahi tuna, where you just sear it. It's super quick too. It can go right from the freezer to the pan and just in like 10 minutes. Yeah.
And don't forget about lifestyle. So daily walks, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, box breathing, meditation, regular chiropractic adjustments to support the vagus nerve and gut motility. And all of these things, they seem so simple, but they really add up.
Yeah. So we've seen patients drop several pounds, lose this afternoon like crash where they have to take a nap, clear up their skin, calm some of their hormone symptoms, and have less joint pain. Sometimes just in a few weeks. We call, when we're going through this with patients, it's repair and clear. We have protocols around this, but it's basically that. And we have some supplementation, and it's very structured when we're doing it in office with people, but great results.
And this protocol is powerful on its own, but the best results come when we personalize it with testing. And sometimes people need further testing, some things like food sensitivities, or what is your leaky gut markers, or maybe you need a stool sample and see what your microbiome's looking like.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about this topic, head to the show notes for the full blog post that we'll be posting. And then also we are going to be giving out some details with our free 30-day gut reset checklist and a meal planner. So if you're ready to personalize your guidance, you can book a free consultation on there at thrivecfh.com.
share your biggest takeaway with us in the comments or send us an email. We actually read all the emails that we get.
Yeah.
And we appreciate them.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us today. You've got this. Healing starts from the inside out. Keep hacking your health.